Welcome to Hood Champion Boxing and Sports. In boxing, you find a way to win, or you find a way to lose. Man, Bob Arum looking bad out here. After Terence Crawford hit the jackpot, became undisputed on his own. All the negative things Bob Arum had to say about Crawford. All the crap, man. And everybody turned it back on Crawford. Crawford was shooting in the dark, wasn't he, after he left Bob Arum? Crawford was out here trying to do things on his own. People were laughing at him. You know what I mean? Horrible how they treated Terence Crawford. The man stepped out on a limb, gambled on himself, said he was going to do things his way. And the thing about what Terence Crawford was doing, no, he didn't have that much experience with contract negotiations and stuff like that. But he took what little knowledge he had, and he went out there and he tried. And then you look at what happened. A lot of the people, key decision makers, the secret society, behind the scene folks, they weren't taking him serious at all. So what happens? The fight initially between he and Spence, I don't know, man. It meets some headwinds, and they just couldn't get beyond it. Then a few months go by. All of a sudden, Crawford and Spence decide, you know what? Forget trying to do this the traditional way. Let's just talk. Phone calls get made. The fighters get on the phone. And these two made it happen. But really, according to Crawford and Spence was like, you know what? I'm just going to go ahead and give him a few things that he was being advised not to give him. Remember, Spence was also being advised not to take the fight. But nonetheless, he wanted to fight, promised the fans. He felt that Crawford made some good points about some things or some other things he didn't quite agree with, but he was like, you know what? Let's just make the fight happen. But the two of them knew they couldn't go on and fight anybody else that could pay them that kind of money unless they fight like a damn Canelo or something. So they made the fight happen. But Bob Arum is just... I would really like to hear more from Bob Arum on how he feels, because I'm going to be honest with you. Bob Arum was very emotional. And that's why when it came to Terence Crawford and the whole Terence Crawford project, Bob Arum dropped that whole project, if you didn't know. He totally washed his hands of Terence Crawford after Terence Crawford, basically, took the legal route on him. Bob Arum was like, nah, I'm not giving you none of my money. You know what I'm saying? Nope, it's over. Give it to Todd DeBuff. You deal with it. And, when it gets to that point, that's not good. And so as a result, Crawford was released. He was free to do what he wants, had his own pace. And you look at what happened here. I mean, man left Bob Arum, 2 years later, this man's undisputed now. Something that he's been chasing for a while. But I tell you what, I really would like to hear what Bob Arum would like to say, what he has to say. And to hear, because Bob Arum is very smart. People, some people to this day don't know that man was a damn lawyer. I think he went to Harvard. Lou DiBella went to Harvard. People don't realize what they're dealing with here. Remember, Obama went to Harvard. Y'all, these are smart guys. But I would like to hear how Bob Arum would frame the conversation around Terence Crawford and being able to make the fight with Earl Spence, and just to hear what he'd have to say, if he's still a sour grape or if he's going to be fair, but firm, and shoot straight about Terence Crawford and say he felt that he did a good job, bad job as far as getting the fight done, and get his 2 cents on the in-ring performance. Because I don't care to hear from anybody else. Everybody else is out here talking. But the one person who I feel knew Crawford the best, I mean, remember, Crawford was with this man his whole career. He re-signed with him when people were telling him not to. Crawford was loyal. He just felt like, hey, man, you're not making the fights. You're acting funny with the money now. You're saying negative things about me. Why sit there and take that kind of abuse? But I would really like to hear from Bob Arum. But I tell you what, right now, from the images I'm seeing of him, Bob Arum getting old, but he looking like that, like Crawford going out here making that $30 million. Bob Arum talked about his finances and his net worth taking a hit as a result of Terence Crawford trying to, sue him. Bob Arum like, nah, I could have got a piece of that $30 million, but I just hope the old man's all right, because he's not looking good out here in these boxing streets. That being said, y'all keep cool. Let's be fair to Bob, man. But I think he was justified in not making the fight at the time. But right now, it does look like Bob Arum dropped the ball. But that being said, y'all keep cool. Shout out to the veterans in the breeze.